Yo, what's up everyone? Q here, let's talk about food waste, a global dumpster fire if there ever was one. We're throwing out perfectly good food while people around the world go hungry. It's unsustainable, it's unethical, and frankly, it's just bad vibes. But what if I told you there are solutions, time-tested methods passed down for generations, rooted in Islamic heritage? See, long before refrigerators and preservatives, people knew how to make food last. We're talking about techniques that predate the pyramids, methods so effective they kept entire civilizations fed. And no, it's not some lost scroll situation. This knowledge is alive and well, and today we're diving in. Get ready to unlock the secrets of food preservation Islamic style. We're going old school, folks. No fancy gadgets, no chemical concoctions, just simple, natural techniques that are good for you, good for the planet, and good for your wallet. Okay, let's kick things off with drying, arguably the original gangster of food preservation. We're talking about harnessing the power of the sun, the wind, even just the air around us to remove moisture from food. It's like nature's pause button, slowing down spoilage before it even starts. And when it comes to drying, nobody does it better than our ancestors. Think about dates, those chewy caramel-like treats. They've been a staple in the Middle East and North Africa for centuries, thanks in large part to drying. Left to bask in the sun, dates transform, their sugars concentrating, their flavors intensifying. But it's not just about sweetness. Drying is a game changer for herbs too. Mint, oregano, thyme, all those fragrant leaves we love to cook with. They lose their vibrancy fast if you don't store them right. But dry them out, and boom, flavor locked in, ready to elevate your dishes for months to come. Now you might be thinking, Q, this sounds great and all, but I live in an apartment, not a desert oasis. Don't trip. You can recreate these drying techniques at home even without a backyard. A well-ventilated room, a mesh screen, maybe even your oven on a low setting. That's all you need to tap into the magic of drying. And the best part? Dried foods aren't just practical, they're delicious. Think about sun-dried tomatoes bursting with concentrated flavor, or beef jerky, a protein-packed snack that lasts for ages. These are just a few examples of how drying can transform ordinary ingredients into culinary gold. So next time you're staring down a fridge full of produce on the verge of going bad, don't freak out. Channel your inner preservationist. Embrace the wisdom of generations past. Get your dry on. Drying isn't just a method, it's an art form that has been perfected over millennia. Ancient civilizations documented their techniques, passing down this invaluable knowledge through generations. Today, we have the advantage of modern technology, like dehydrators, to make the process even more efficient. Dehydrated fruit snacks are a perfect example of how we can enjoy the benefits of drying in our busy modern lives. Alright, let's move on to another MVP in the world of food preservation pickling. This age-old technique has been a game changer in kitchens around the world, allowing us to savor the flavors of summer well into the winter months. We're talking about that tangy, salty, sometimes spicy magic that can make vegetables last for months, even years. Imagine biting into a crunchy pickle in the middle of winter, a burst of summer's bounty preserved perfectly. And yes, it's as old school as it gets. Pickling has been around for millennia, with evidence of this technique dating back to ancient Mesopotamia. This ancient civilization knew the secret to preserving their harvests, ensuring food security through the harsh seasons. And it's no coincidence that pickling has been a cornerstone of cuisines across the Muslim world. The rich, diverse flavors of pickled foods have been enhancing dishes for centuries, adding depth and complexity to meals. From the Middle East to Southeast Asia, pickled foods add a burst of flavor and complexity to countless dishes. Whether it's a tangy achar in India or a spicy kimchi in Korea, pickling is a universal language of flavor. So how does it work? What's the science behind this magical transformation? It's all about creating an environment where bacteria can't thrive. By manipulating the acidity and salinity, we can prevent spoilage and encourage the growth of beneficial bacteria. Vinegar, salt, sometimes even sugar. These ingredients work together to create a super acidic, inhospitable environment for those pesky microorganisms that want to spoil our food. This acidic environment is key to the pickling process. But here's the thing about pickling, it's not just about preservation, it's about transformation. The process changes the texture, flavor, and even the nutritional profile of the vegetables. Take cucumbers, for example. On their own, they're cool, refreshing, but kind of basic. They're great in salads, but they don't exactly steal the show. But pickle them? Boom. You've got crunchy, tangy flavor bombs known as pickles. They become the star of the show, adding a zesty punch to any dish. And it's not just cucumbers that benefit from the pickling treatment. The possibilities are endless. Carrots, onions, cauliflower, even green beans, they all level up in the flavor department when they take a dip in the pickle jar. Each vegetable brings its own unique texture and taste to the pickling party. And let's not forget about the health benefits. Pickled foods are not just tasty, they're also good for you. Fermented pickles in particular are packed with probiotics, those good bacteria that keep our gut happy and healthy. These beneficial microbes aid in digestion and boost our immune system. So whether you're looking to add a tangy kick to your sandwiches, brighten up your salads, or just want to make your food last longer, pickling is the answer. It's a versatile technique that can elevate any meal. It's simple, it's effective, and it's a delicious way to connect with the culinary traditions of the past. By embracing pickling, we not only preserve our food, but also a piece of our history and culture. Fermentation, the ancient art of microbial magic. All right, folks, get ready to enter the fascinating world of fermentation, where we team up with tiny organisms to create culinary masterpieces. This ancient practice is not just a method of food preservation, it's a culinary art form that has been perfected over millennia. Now, I know what you're thinking. Microorganisms? In my food? That sounds suspect. But hold on, because these tiny powerhouses are the unsung heroes of the culinary world. But trust me on this one, fermentation has been a cornerstone of human civilization for thousands of years. From the ancient Egyptians to the Greeks and Romans, and even in the far reaches of Asia, fermentation has played a crucial role in food culture. It's how we've been making yogurt, cheese, bread, and countless other staples since long before refrigeration was even a twinkle in some inventor's eye. These foods have not only nourished us, but have also brought communities together in the process of making and sharing them. And it's a process deeply intertwined with Islamic culinary traditions. In many Islamic cultures, fermentation is a revered practice, used to create a variety of foods that are both delicious and nutritious. Here's the basic gist. Fermentation is all about harnessing the power of good bacteria and yeasts. These microorganisms are like tiny chefs, working tirelessly to transform our food. These microscopic helpers break down sugars and starches, transforming the flavor, texture, and even the nutritional profile of our food. It's a natural process that enhances the food's qualities, making it more digestible and often more flavorful. It's like alchemy but with microorganisms. Take yogurt for example. This humble dairy product is a staple in many diets around the world. It all starts with milk, but introduce the right bacteria, and boom! You've got a tangy, creamy, probiotic powerhouse that's not only delicious, but also good for your gut. The bacteria ferment the lactose in the milk, producing lactic acid, which gives yogurt its distinctive tang. You've got a tangy, creamy, probiotic powerhouse that's not only delicious, but also good for your gut. And cheese? Same deal. The process of making cheese involves a similar transformation, where bacteria and sometimes molds work their magic on milk. Milk meet bacteria, magic happens. The result is a wide variety of cheeses, each with its own unique flavor and texture, from the soft and creamy to the hard and aged. But fermentation isn't just about dairy. Think about bread. The process of making bread involves fermenting dough with yeast, which produces carbon dioxide and causes the dough to rise. That airy texture, that slightly sour flavor, that's all thanks to yeast, a single-celled fungus that's been feeding humanity for millennia. Yeast not only leavens the bread but also contributes to its flavor and aroma. And let's not forget about fermented vegetables like kimchi and sauerkraut, flavor bombs that add a tangy kick to any dish. These fermented vegetables are rich in probiotics and have a long history in various cultures. So, next time you see the word fermented on a menu or a product label, don't shy away. Embrace it. These foods are not only delicious but also packed with health benefits, thanks to the probiotics and other beneficial compounds produced during fermentation. These foods aren't just delicious, they're a testament to the ingenuity of our ancestors, who figured out how to harness the power of the microbial world to create culinary wonders. So, the next time you enjoy a piece of cheese, a spoonful of yogurt, or a slice of sourdough bread, remember the tiny microorganisms that made it all possible. They are the true magicians of the culinary world. These humble vessels have been a cornerstone of traditional cooling methods for centuries. You might know them as zier pots, and they were essentially the refrigerators of the past. Ingeniously designed, they were a lifeline in regions where modern refrigeration was unavailable. These earthenware pots, made from clay, were used to keep water and food cool, especially in hot climates where refrigeration wasn't an option. They were a simple yet effective solution to a common problem. Imagine this: a porous clay pot filled with water and placed in a dry, well-ventilated area. The simplicity of the setup belies its effectiveness. The science behind it is fascinating. It's all about the process of evaporation. As the water inside the pot evaporates, it draws heat from the pot itself, naturally cooling the contents inside. This process is a perfect example of how natural principles can be harnessed for practical use. It's like magic, but it's pure science. The cooling effect is so profound that it often leaves people in awe. This simple technique, rooted in the understanding of natural processes, helped people keep their food fresh for longer periods. It was a vital part of daily life in many cultures. Think about it: no electricity, no complex machinery, just the power of nature harnessed in a clay pot. This method was especially crucial in rural areas where modern conveniences were scarce. These cooling pots were more than just containers. They were a testament to the ingenuity of our ancestors in utilizing readily available resources to solve everyday challenges. Now let's talk about two techniques that have been used for centuries to preserve meat and fish salting and smoking. These methods are not just relics of the past. They are time-tested techniques that have ensured the survival of countless generations. Salting, as you might know, is all about drawing out moisture from food, creating an environment where bacteria can't thrive. This simple yet effective method has been a cornerstone of food preservation for centuries. It's like creating a hostile environment for those tiny spoilers. By removing moisture, we make it nearly impossible for bacteria to grow and spoil the food. Our ancestors would rub salt onto meat or fish, thoroughly coating it, and sometimes they would even pack it in layers of salt. This meticulous process ensured that the food was well preserved and could last for extended periods. This process would draw out the moisture, effectively dehydrating the food and preventing spoilage. It was a practical solution to the problem of food preservation in times when refrigeration was not an option. Smoking, on the other hand, adds another layer of preservation. This method not only preserves the food but also enhances its flavor, making it a favorite among many cultures. The smoke from burning wood contains compounds that have antimicrobial properties, further inhibiting bacterial growth. This dual action of preservation and flavor enhancement makes smoking a unique and valuable technique. But it's not just about preservation. Smoking also imparts a unique flavor to the food. The rich, smoky taste is something that has been cherished by people for generations. Think about smoky sausages or salmon. That delicious smokiness is a result of this age-old preservation technique. It's a flavor that has stood the test of time and continues to be enjoyed today. The staples of many cultures, including Muslim communities, require careful storage to protect them from the elements and pesky insects. These food items are not just ingredients, they are the backbone of countless traditional dishes and daily meals. Our ancestors developed effective methods to ensure that these precious food sources remained fresh and readily available. They understood the importance of maintaining the quality and longevity of their food supplies. One common technique involved storing grains and pulses in airtight containers, often made from clay or metal. These materials were chosen for their durability and ability to keep out moisture and pests. These containers would be kept in cool, dry places away from direct sunlight and moisture, which could lead to spoilage. The right environment was crucial to prevent mold and other forms of decay. But they didn't stop there. They went a step further to ensure the safety of their food. To further deter insects, they would often add natural repellents like bay leaves, neem leaves, or even dried chilies to the storage containers. These natural ingredients were readily available and highly effective. These natural ingredients acted as deterrents, keeping those tiny critters at bay. The use of such organic methods ensured that the food remained safe and consumable for longer periods. The ingenuity lies in their understanding of the environment and the factors that could affect their food. They knew how to work with nature rather than against it. They observed, they experimented, and they passed down their knowledge through generations, ensuring that their communities could thrive. This wisdom was a vital part of their cultural heritage. Now let's talk about spices, the heart and soul of many cuisines, including traditional Muslim dishes. But did you know that many spices played a dual role in the kitchen? They weren't just flavor enhancers, they were also natural preservatives. Spices like turmeric, cloves, cinnamon, and cumin, staples in many Muslim households, possess antimicrobial properties that helped extend the shelf life of food. Turmeric, with its vibrant yellow hue, contains curcumin, a powerful antioxidant with antimicrobial properties. It was often used in meat dishes and curries, adding a burst of flavor while also acting as a natural preservative. Cloves, with their intense aroma and flavor, were prized for their ability to inhibit bacterial growth. They were often used in pickling and preserving fruits and vegetables. Cinnamon, another beloved spice, contains cinnamaldehyde, which has been shown to have potent antimicrobial properties. It was used in both sweet and savory dishes, adding a warm, comforting flavor while also extending their shelf life. These spices, often used in combination, not only created a symphony of flavors, but also acted as a natural defense against spoilage. So there you have it, a glimpse into the fascinating world of traditional Muslim food preservation techniques. Let's try to incorporate some of these techniques into our own routines, not just to preserve food, but to preserve our heritage, to minimize waste, and to connect with the environment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And let me know in the comments which technique you found most fascinating. Until next time, take care and keep exploring the wonders of our world.